High-tech heroes such as Batman and Iron Man exist in the realm of science fiction, but how do they measure up when you take out the fiction and focus exclusively on the science? And more importantly, who would win in a real-life battle where they are confined to the boundaries of physics and not the imaginations of comic book writers? While much of their tech exists in some form or another in the real world, much of their wonderful toys are, as of now, pure fantasy. Unfortunately, it's a bummer. This is what makes versus debates so difficult to navigate. In his Hellbat armor, Bruce Wayne can go toe-to-toe with Darkseid. With the help of the Extremis Serum, Tony Stark has full techno-organic control of his suits. To put it plainly, comics are not a reliable method to judge battle physics. As such, the only true method to test their might is to ground their weapons and abilities in reality, where fighting mechanics can be measured properly. So how do these two titans of industry stack up in a Nolan-verse scenario? Some may be surprised with just how far along superhero-grade technology has progressed within the last decade, and even more surprised with just how far along superhero-grade technology is projected to progress within the next decade. And with that being said, without further ado, we are going to jump into a Batman versus Iron Man, two of our favorite, absolutely favorite superheroes on the planet, in a Batman Iron Man edition of Mike Hit It.
Dipping milk in cookies.
That's the one.
Welcome to Dipping Milk in Cookies with your hosts Garrett Cookie Smith and Michael Milkman Segovia. Go ahead and cue that outro.
Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Dipping Milk and Cookies. Guys, I am Garrett, Cookie Commander Smith. With me, as always, Michael, Master Motherfucking Milker Segovia.
Hello, hello,
What
hello.
up, what up, what up? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright, you know. Been catching up on some sleep, kind of, ish. But, outside of that, man, the band is actually able to start practicing again. We did our live stream last Saturday. That video's already got over 2,400 views, so that's pretty fucking dope. It's one of our highest viewed videos to date, so that's pretty cool. Everybody that has showed support there. If you haven't seen the video, you can go to the facebook.com/Reflection of Flesh Facebook page,
Will it show it on all the different angles, or?
Yeah, that's what that was the cool thing about it, and that's the one thing that I was rather proud of because that was my fucking idea. But that was one thing I haven't seen from like a lot of the other bands that do the live streams. It's usually just one camera angle. So we had the one camera angle up front that showed me, Chris, and Phil. Chris had his phone set up behind the kit so you could see the drum action, and that one's on his personal page. And then Dustin, he had his tripod set up for the vocal performance, which you can find on his personal page. So it was pretty cool. We had I think at the highest point, I think we had like 60 viewers or something like that, and that's pretty impressive for us, I feel like. But yeah, outside of the music scene starting to pick back up, still not too sure what the concerts are going to look like, but at least we're finally able to get back to work.
Well,
so.
Toledo Death Fest still on, as far as you know, right?
Oh yeah.
Tickets
it's
are
gonna
going
be-
fast too, so you gotta hurry up and try to get them.
Yeah, they are for sure. All the VIP tickets are gone, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're running out of space because I don't know how many people they're actually gonna even like allow into the
That's a good
into the
point.
facility to do it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that'll be fun. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be a good one. Getting to party with the guys from everybody on the Legend Agency, roster. That's gonna be a good time. What's new with you, bud? We were talking about the trip the other day. How's the parental? How's the sisters?
Everybody's good.
Yeah.
Greg's still Greg, you know, ornery.
Yeah.
Fucking
Guy.
Greg. But my sisters are good. I mean, I've been seeing them every couple weeks through all this, so it's not like I hadn't seen them in months. But
Yeah, I'm talking about like Tiffany though.
I didn't get a chance to see her.
Oh, she didn't come.
No, she her party was originally canceled, but then they ended up having like a little small thing still. And by that time, we were already at my dad's house, and
Gotcha.
they just decided not to come out, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was fun. It was just to get out of the area. Like for me, it was really just about the drive. And yeah, I mean, getting to see my dad was cool and all, but like it was just being able to not be driving in West Dallas, West Milwaukee, like
Just
area.
get out of Dodge, man.
So it was
Believe
real
me,
nice.
I know.
Yeah, it was real nice.
For sure. That's good.
Yeah, other than that, man, it's just been a normal. I shouldn't say normal. It's just been a new normal adjusting period, like with things starting to open up again and whatnot. So it's kind of like anticipation and anxiety are growing. It's like, what can I do? Like, is the zoo open yet? You know, things like that. But soon.
Yeah, we'll get there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear everything is good. Again, I want to apologize to everybody for last week's little flub. That's totally my bad. In addition to the sound quality being just complete dog shit, this fucking jackass here accidentally deleted half the episode after the Master Milker left Studio DMC. So everybody who caught the little update clip I recorded last week, thank you for listening in. Thank you for caring. But yeah, we're back at it. We are back on a regular schedule. And with that being said, let's jump into this episode. We thought it would be really, really fun to do a superhero episode. Because, I mean, obviously, me personally, I'm a fucking huge superhero nerd. And I know Mike he's on the level, but he's not on my level. But either way, we both have favorite superheroes, and ironically enough, it's the two guys that are actually not superheroes. Well, they're superheroes, but they don't have superpowers.
Yeah.
They're just rich, smart,
Handsome.
handsome, and really, really physically fit.
Huge dongs.
Big dick energy. That's what that's called. So yeah, Mike, do you wanna start off with a little background on Iron Man? You want me to start with Batman?
Either way is fine. Either way is fine.
I'll let you pull up your notes here. You can go
Okay.
first, bud.
Sure. All right. So, for me, I'll start with why I like Iron Man. For me, Iron Man, it started off where I was in the Batman, but then seeing how like really, really in the Batman Garrett was, I just didn't think it would be very cool to both of us be all Batman boner, you know.
Everybody already thought we were gay, so
Right.
dude, I can only imagine how many times people are just like, dude, I'm just waiting for the day when they come out. Like they have to be gay.
Yeah, everyone's probably thinking like, wait, if Jenny leaves and Emily leaves at the same time, they're going full gay.
Hey, well, I mean,
We almost did.
going in straight, coming out gay.
Yep. Saved by the Emily. Yeah, almost gay.
That's so funny.
But I really did like Iron Man as well too. I mean, I still have a lot of love for Batman, but I liked Batman's overall, just everything. Everything about Batman is just awesome. But what I really like about Iron Man, Tony Stark, is his attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like being that cocky guy where
You're the smartest
just know,
guy in the room.
just knowing you're the smartest guy in the room. I always loved that. But for the history though, Iron Man is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, which we all know and love. The last 10 years, we just watched a bunch of their movies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He first appeared in the appearance of Tales of Suspense number 39, the cover dated March of 1963, And then he received his own title, Iron Man #1, in May of 1968. I can just imagine what that's worth.
Let's not forget, definitely the character was co-created by writer and editor Stan Lee. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, Don Heck, and Jack Kirby all had their hands in that. And, I mean, we all know Stan Lee's universe
Stan Lee,
is...
Excelsior.
He's been on plenty of teams. Avengers, the AI Army, Department of Defense, Force Works, New Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Illuminati, Mighty Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., Stark Industries, Stark Resilient, and the Thunderbolts. The character overall is a wealthy American business magnate, playboy, and ingenious scientist. His full name is Anthony Edward Tony Stark. And obviously, if you've seen the movies, you know that he suffered a severe chest injury in the first movie when he was kidnapped due to his own equipment. And that's what kind of changed his whole mentality about what he was doing. Instead of harming people, he wanted to help people. And let's see here. What's some other good stuff here?
Well, let's break down exactly why or how he became Iron Man. So like you said, he had the chest injury during a demonstration of one of his own weapons. But during that demonstration, he gets kidnapped. His captors attempt to force him to like build a weapon of mass destruction. Instead, he creates a mechanized suit of armor to save his life and escape captivity. Later, that's when Stark develops the actual Iron Man suit. He adds weapons to it. Other technological devices he designs through his company, Stark Industries, and then he uses the suit and successive versions to protect the world as Iron Man. First, obviously, he wasn't trying to let everybody know that he was Iron Man, but then eventually, like you said, that attitude, he just said, "Fuck it,
Yep.
like, what are you gonna do about it?" And that's how Iron Man became Iron Man. Continue. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I started looking up some other things here.
No, it's all right, bud.
But to go along with everything about Iron Man, like it's also what he represents. As you can see, like in Civil War, when he's more for the structure, discipline, being in line, opposed to where like Captain America was not so much for that. Everybody wanted to be the freedom and stuff. And that, to me, I thought was also a big thing. Man, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a specific fucking thing that I found earlier today, and I cannot find it, so it's making me get all distracted here. Why don't you do a little bit about Batman really quick so I can try to find this fucking thing?
All right. Well, if you don't know who Batman is, you can go fuck yourself, all right? First and foremost, that just needs to be thrown out. Batman, obviously, he's a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics, obviously the rival to Marvel. The character was first created by Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, and first appeared in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939. Originally named the Batman, the character is also referred to as such epithets as the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, and the world's greatest detective, suck at Sherlock Holmes. Batman's secret identity is Bruce Wayne, a wealthy American playboy, philanthropist, and owner of Wayne Enterprises. Batman originated from an incident in Bruce's childhood. After witnessing the murder of his parents, Dr. Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, he swore vengeance against criminals, an oath tempered by a sense of justice. Bruce trains himself physically and intellectually and crafts a bat-inspired persona to fight crime. And it's so cool, like, that was the one thing that I really respected about Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, is like it was so grounded in realism that like they even fit in the real origin of the Batman persona, is like, why bats? Like, well, bats scare me. Like, it's time to embrace, my dread. And now it's time for Gotham's criminals to share my dread, which is fucking so badass. Batman operates in the fictional city of Gotham with assistance from various supporting characters, including his faithful butler, Alfred, police commissioner Jim Gordon, and vigilante allies such as Robin. Unlike most superheroes, Batman does not possess any inhuman superpowers, which makes him a motherfucking badass. He does, however, possess a genius-level intellect and is a peerless martial artist. and his vast wealth affords him an extraordinary arsenal of weaponry and equipment, which we'll jump into in a little bit. A large assortment of villains make up Batman's rogues gallery, including his nemesis, the Joker. Without doubt, one of the best villains anywhere. Marvel, DC. The Joker's he's all sorts of fucking crazy. The character became super popular soon after his introduction in 1939 and gained his own comic book title, Batman, the following year. As the decades went on, different interpretations of the character emerged. The late 1960s Batman television series, which was a joke but awesome in its own right, used the camp aesthetic, super campy, which continued to be associated with the character for years after the show ended, which sucked. Various creators worked to return the character to his dark roots, culminating in 1986 with The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. I still have those comic books from Don. Yep, I still got that entire set. It's really great graphic novels line. The success of Warner Brothers Pictures live-action Batman feature films have helped maintain the character's prominence in mainstream culture. So, I mean, that's a little bit of the history of Batman, who he is, how he came to be. Me personally, how I correlate my just fascination and fixation on Batman is, again, it was always very attractive to me that the dude didn't have superpowers. Like, the dude doesn't have superpowers, and he's hanging out with everybody who does. And not only is he hanging out, he's intimidating some of them. So, that guy is somebody not to be trifled with. I want to know more. And truth be told, Batman, the 1989 version of Batman, the first one with Michael Keaton, that was on VHS at my grandma's house that I was at all the fucking time. So, put that in, just put it on repeat. So that's my big thing with Batman. I don't know. Again, the whole idea of being just a regular guy, just on literally on top of your game in every fucking facet, that is just it's fucking awesome, dude.
And that's how I lost that specific thing that I wanted to read, was because I went down the rabbit hole and I started doing it on your tablet too when I got here.
Yeah.
Was the Batman versus Iron Man, who's smarter, who's richer, and that.
Yeah, I did all that too. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Technically, Batman is.
I mean,
Iron Man's smarter, but Batman's richer. However, Iron Man, he does a lot of government contracts. He does a lot of government contracts, so he's actually pulling in taxpayer money. So technically, he would probably be making more. But if you're talking about straight revenue between their two businesses, Stark Industries and Wayne Enterprises brings in more money.
Yeah, his business brings more money, but Stark is worth more.
Yeah, because again, those government contracts. Yeah.
There's just so many,
So yeah, here. So while much of Iron Man's tech is plausible, Batman is far more grounded in real-world science, okay? In fact, many sources have attempted to offer real-world breakdowns of Batman's technology, including monetary costs. Most places price tag of Batman's crusade at around $135 million, but an article by Mashable suggested it would be closer to $682 million, which that sounds way more realistic. That sounds like what you would need to do, the Batwing and the Batcave, the Batmobile, and fucking the computer, the Batcomputer and shit. Let's see, that's $682 million, which includes the cost of Wayne Manor as well as a full-time butler on staff. Still, another essay titled "The Cost of Being Batman" by Darren Hudson Hick put the cost at $296 million, which doesn't factor in Alfred, but does include the cost of the Bat Signal. The cost of a real-life Iron Man, however, would be in the billions, mainly due to the bleeding-edge power sources required to use his weapons. That said, Tony Stark wouldn't be confined to monetary costs in the same way as Bruce Wayne, because much of his $12.4 billion net worth comes from government contracts. And there you go. Meaning his experimental future weapons are funded by U.S. tax dollars. So that's where you got Bruce, on the ropes for sure.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find the little thing that says how much it would cost on average per year to be one of these guys. Obviously, there's expenses,
There's startup costs, and then there's maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, these suits, it's going to cost you a bunch in the first year to get going, just like any business. But then afterwards, it's kind of, just the maintaining. But these dudes, all right, well, Batman, he uses plenty of explosives, just like Iron Man. So, he can make his own shit, though.
I was going to say that Iron Man, he's an engineer, essentially. And, even though Bruce, he technically has a couple engineering degrees as well, but like Tony is he's the real hands-on guy. Like a lot of people don't realize it, but like a lot of the hard grunt work that goes into like all of the maintenance and shit of the Bat computer and the Batmobile and all that shit, that's done by Alfred. Like that's not Bruce that's doing that shit. He does some of it, but a majority of that's done by Alfred, which a lot of people don't fucking realize.
So it's just like Alfred's the brains behind Batman.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. It's a very symbiotic relationship. Without Alfred, Batman wouldn't be able to do what he does.
Right,
That's
he
for
just
damn
he
sure.
pretty much hypnotizes him, uses some reverse psychology. He's just like, yeah, you shouldn't be out there fighting crime,
No, I should be out there.
right? Yeah, I guess I'll just go fix the computer again. You know,
I'm gonna need it if I'm fighting crime.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll get your car warmed up, master.
That's the Wayne.
No, you don't get the plane. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very, very low profile. But yeah, no, that's a very good question. I would imagine it's. I mean, if you think about it, though, they're already talking about being over $500 million just to like run it. You figure if it's going to cost you $500 million just to start it, it's going to cost you at least $10 million a year to keep it going, at least. But again, these guys are wiping their ass with fucking millions of dollars, so what do they care?
I like that scene in I think it's Dark Knight, could be wrong. When Batman Bruce Wayne goes into the restaurant and he's got those two hookers and they're
Oh,
like
that's the
fucking around.
first one.
Oh, that's the first
Yeah,
one, and they're
that's
fucking
Batman
around in the
Begins.
pool, and he's just like, you can't do that. He's
Yeah,
just like,
it's not a swimming area.
I just bought it.
It's not it's not a question of money, sir. It's just like, well, I'm buying this hotel. I think we're gonna change the rules about the swimming area.
So I got something for you.
All right.
Yeah, you called me Mr. Baseball, and I told you I wasn't Mr. Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got some Batman trivia?
I do.
Lovely.
I do.
Lovely.
There's 20 questions.
Okay.
We're gonna do this, and I got a feeling you're gonna do pretty good on this, but part of me's also hoping like you do as like I did and go
Fucking
like
choke.
3 for 20 or something. Okay, first question: when was the first Batman movie released? 1968, 1966, 1943.
43.
All right. Second question: what is the Penguin's real name? Oswald Cobblepot.
Cobblepot,
Okay. I almost didn't even bother reading them. I was waiting for the quick answer. As I read that, I was like, "Come on,
Yeah, no.
fucking tossing up these meatballs." Who writes the current Batman comic issues? Jeff Johns, Brian Azzarello, Scott Snyder.
I think it's Scott Snyder.
Correct. All right, question number 4. Who voiced Batman in 7 different cartoon series? Timothy Daly?
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy? Okay. Who got shot during the Killing Joke storyline? Robin?
Barbara.
Okay.
I like this.
Which of the following exclamations was not used on the 1966 to 1968 TV show? It's going to be funny trying to say these. Holly Alio? Holy Holly Popsicle? Holy Hutzpah. Hutzpah.
Holy Hutzpah.
No.
Ah,
All right.
mighty has fallen. He gets one wrong.
Yeah, it was the Holy Holly Popsicle.
Fucking Robin.
That's loser.
Get back in the car.
Which of these bad guys never fought Batman? Clayface, Killer Croc, Tigra, or Saz?
Tigra.
Okay. Where did Harley Quinn meet the Joker?
Arkham.
Okay. What was the Huntress's original last name?
Oh.
Helena Bertinelli or Helena Wayne?
Bert and Ellie.
No, it was Wayne.
Fuck. What?
All right, question 10. Still good.
All right.
All right, what was Barbara Gordon's nickname after she got shot by
Oracle.
the Joker? Okay. After leaving his place by Batman's side, Dick Grayson took the name
Nightwing.
Night-
Nightwing.
Okay.
Nightwing. Yeah.
All right, all right. This was supposed to be like I literally Googled 20 hard Batman questions. Like, I even feel like I'm getting a lot of these right here, and this is bullshit. Like this one right here is a fucking joke. Who broke Batman's back?
Bane.
Yeah. This is bullshit. What is the date of Bruce's birthday? March 1st, February 19th. It was never released. May 20th.
March 1st.
No, February 19th.
Damn it.
I feel like that was an
Damn
important
it.
one.
Yeah.
Did Rachel Dawes exist in the comic book?
Did Rachel Dawes
Exist in the comic book?
No.
Or yes. Okay. Who was working with Batman since his debut? Alfred. Robin, or Commissioner Gordon?
Alfred.
All right. No, Commissioner Gordon.
Wait. Repeat that question.
Who was working with Batman since his debut? And then it was the answers were Robin, Alfred, Commissioner Gordon.
All right, well, I'll take that, but you can see how that.
I guess because
answer
when you think
both
about the
of them.
show, like Gotham, he was working with Bruce.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
yeah, Alfred was there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's like a
Alright.
kind of weird.
I guess that's like a push.
Yeah. I didn't lose.
All right. Which Robin was killed by the Joker?
Jason Todd.
Okay. Who killed Bruce's parents?
Oh Jesus, this is gonna be such an unfair question.
The Joker, Jack O'Connor, Joe Chill.
Joe Chill.
Joe No Chill, right? No, I was right though.
There's so many different versions though, dude. That's such a weird question. But yeah.
Oh, talking about the how
like,
his
dude,
parents
in
were
the
killed.
'89 version, it's the Joker. In the comic books, it's Joe Chill. They did it in Batman Begins with Joe Chill that killed his parents.
So that Jack O'Connor never.
I'm pretty sure Jack O'Connor that's a real guy, like in the comic book world, but like I don't know how he fits into it. I know he's probably a character from like the animated series. There was a lot of characters created for the animated series, the cartoon.
The one that we watched when we were growing up? Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of like additional characters like that, not like villains, but like, you know, the Bertinelli, that name. That's why I was just like, that sounds familiar. Like maybe it's Bertinelli.
What was Dick Grayson's profession before he became Robin?
Oh, he was a what are they? Trapeze.
Circus acrobat?
Yeah, circus acrobat.
I knew
There
what you
go.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this quiz is bullshit. Which villain developed a powerful formula capable of turning men into hulking beasts? Bane, Hugo Strange, the Joker.
Hugo Strange.
And then the last question, what is the name of Mr. Freeze's wife? Emily,
Nora.
or Laura? Yeah, all right. Well, you did pretty good. You got 16 out of 20.
I like Batman, man.
That was good. That's what, about like 80%.
All right. While you were asking me those questions, I was able to find myself an Iron Man.
No,
question.
because we already did the baseball one.
Are you running away from an honest challenge?
No, I'll do it, but I already know that I'm not going to do as well.
What is Iron Man's alter ego? Tony Tiger, Tony Hart, Tony Stark, Tony Bog Trotter.
That Tony Tiger one sounds pretty good, but I know it's Tony Stark, yeah.
Dude, yeah, these are so simple. What is the chemical symbol for iron? IRAGAUFE.
IR.
It's FE.
FE. Usually in science, I was playing with my tech deck. You would know. You were sitting next to me.
These are fucking dumb questions.
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's these questions here were all like meatball
Oh, here we
questions.
go. What's Obadiah Stane's called? What's he called when he is suited up?
Ironmonger.
Yeah.
I had my face shaved like him before I went to jail. Remember, I had the bald head too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, yeah, that's stupid. You need to get away from that. Let's get back into this. Let's see. To take someone on, or to take on someone like Iron Man, the Dark Knight is going to need the most advanced training and technology the real world can offer. And at net worth of $9.2 billion, he can afford the very best. To be the world's greatest detective, Bruce would need a degree in biochemistry from a top university, as well as graduate degree from a top forensics program. Mashable's article also cites several engineering degrees in his resume, though it didn't specify in what fields. While Bruce's education is impressive by any standard, Tony Stark is likely the smartest person on the fucking planet, earning 2 master's degrees in engineering, physics, and artificial intelligence at MIT by the age of 19. And though Bruce's 192 IQ and 23 languages vocabulary make him a bona fide genius, Tony's IQ of 270 puts him in the top 0.01% of the smartest people on the planet. For perspective, real-life super geniuses such as child prodigy Aneen Kali, who began lecturing in biochemistry at the age of 6. That's fucking wild. And William James Sidis, who first theorized dark matter in the 1930s, both have IQs within that range. But while Iron Man has Batman utterly beat on the engineering front, Batman's deductive reasoning would still come in handy when finding an opponent wearing bleeding-edge tech. Now, on top of being the world's greatest detective, Batman is also one of the world's greatest martial artists. According to the comic book canon, Bruce mastered 127 forms of martial arts in the first 10 years after his parents' murder. Unfortunately, it is impossible to learn that many forms of combat within one lifetime. Italian Grandmaster Gilberto Gilberto Paccialio, for example, holds an unprecedented 22 10th degree black belts and has been training since 1958. While Bruce wouldn't be able to master 120 forms of combat, he could master 3 or 4, such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Krav Maga, as a foundation to his training, and then incorporate techniques from other martial arts into his fighting style, something real MMA fighters already do. Let's see. The next real-world aspect of Batman to dissect is his bat armor. Since Batman's armor is supposed to give him the mobility to perform all those crazy-ass martial arts moves, he's gonna avoid metal parts and instead use a mixture of Kevlar and a high molecular polyethylene composite 10 times stronger than steel called Spectra. Throw in boron, carbide plating, and fire-retardant Nomex, and Batman's bulletproof, knife-proof, and shrapnel-proof armor will also be fireproof. And when Bruce tops his look off with a graphite cowl and Flamex-coated polysatin cape, he'll be ready to take on anything short of an alien demigod, which, even if that were the case, he's got that Hellbat armor, which is, without doubt, the shit. That's the baddest fucking shit. It should be noted that even through memory cloth, the material of Batman's cape in the Dark Knight trilogy, even though that doesn't exist, researchers from North Carolina State University are currently working on a shape-shifting hydrogel that does basically the same thing. That's pretty fucking wild. Now, while Batman relies on a mix of raw physical power and mostly non-computerized armor and gadgets, pretty much everything Iron Man uses in combat is mechanical and powered by external fuel sources. And as far as exosuits go, Tony has some real-world options to give him a clear advantage in combat. Defense contractor Lockheed Martin has a leg support system called Onyx that allows the wearer to carry an additional 140 pounds beyond their normal limit. This will be important for Iron Man considering how much gear he'll be carrying into battle. As for the upper body, Sarcos Robotics Guardian GT has robotic arms that can lift 500 pounds. Though they aren't currently wearable, we will add them to Tony's suit anyway, since Bruce can deadlift nearly 1,000 pounds unassisted, according to the comics, which is true. Motherfucker is a beast. Though both men will be carrying a hefty amount of gear, Tony will have an overall advantage in armor. Obviously, Iron Man's suit won't actually be made out of iron. Likely it'll be made out of, nitinol, a titanium nickel alloy that's 43% lighter than steel but can easily stop most ballistics. Add an inner lining of saborothane for shock absorption, and Tony could smash through ceilings MCU style without a problem. The biggest hurdle for Tony, however, to overcome is how to power his main suit, since his staple arc fusion reactor exists only in the world of fiction. Short for affordable, robust, compact, the arc reactor is a perpetual motion energy source powered by superheated plasma. It was perfected by Tony while dying in the cave of a warlord and is small enough to fit into a surgically engraved hole in his chest. But even without heart-size arc reactors, personal flight devices like those created by Jetpack Aviation or Mythbuster star Adam Savage, they can still fly up for up to 10 minutes and can reach speeds up to 200 miles, or 200 MPR. I don't know what MPR stands for, though. Some even come with their own heads-up display, similar to Iron Man's. Tony's main suit would likely rely on a mix of lithium-ion batteries, like those found in Tesla vehicles, and hydrogen peroxide-powered jet propulsion engines. The problem, however, is both of those power sources have a tendency to explode when they are damaged. So, we'll pause from this article real quick. To me, is... Batman has he has a slight advantage because his technology, his gear, and his suit is very minimalist, so to speak.
And it sounds like it's more capable of being more functional and realistic.
Yeah. So that's why, if you ask this question, if they're fighting in the comic book world, Iron Man's gonna win.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. But if they were fighting in the real world, in Batman's world, well, I mean, even still though, Batman's world gets fucking crazy. But like I was saying, the Hellbat armor, that's the shit that the Justice League forged for him to fight Darkseid, so that he could withstand intergalactic kind of blows and shit like that. And dude, when he has that shit on, fucking forget about it, dude. Because it makes him strong. It makes him super powered, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's a toss up. I think it's a real toss up, for sure.
Yeah, this suit that I found here. Did you ever hear of a suit called the God Killer? Yeah. So the God Killer armor is one of the most powerful weapons in the universe, but it wasn't created by Tony Stark. Instead, it was created by the Celestials during a war and designed specifically to destroy the Celestials. It was massive, standing over 2,000 feet tall, and had limitless power. But then number 2 is the Extremis armor, which, I guess, yeah, obviously that's the question you always have to ask. Well, what world are they fighting in?
Yeah. That's really the deciding factor.
But you know who's really, I think, got the edge on both of them? Is Goku.
Yeah. That's that's a whole another fucking can of worms, though, man.
Crush Iron Man into a little tin can, dude.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Just one Kamehameha, just fucking
rip
done.
Batman's spine right out through his butthole.
Fucking just flick him, dude. It's what are you even doing here? At least this guy can take one of my punches, man. I'll break your fucking face. I'll punch through your chest. I'll punch your chest through your back, guy. Easily. Get fuck out of here.
Right? That's funny as fuck.
So yeah, while Batman's battle armor is relatively low tech when compared to Iron Man's, Bruce's computer is one of the most highly advanced hardware systems in the world. Hick's essay suggests the Bat computer would be similar to IBM's gargantuan Blue Gene and include a state-of-the-art crime lab. Total cost $655 million. Having a military-grade computer system would allow Batman to analyze his opponents and give him a tactical advantage in combat. And speaking of combat, Batman's utility belt would come equipped with a variety of real-world weaponry, such as a handheld grenade launcher, several concussion flash smoke grenades, remote detonated explosives, and 1,000 bat-shaped shurikens. It should be noted that while Mashable listed Batman's TPLS grappling hook launcher at $50,000, we currently don't have the technology to miniaturize it into a grapple gun into the size of a small pistol. That said, major advancements in special operations technology suggest that a portable grapnel will likely exist within the next decade, so it just passes the reality bar test. That's so fucking cool. As far as Iron Man's real-world arsenal goes, his signature repulsor rays, which not only act as flight stabilizers but also directed energy weapons, are unfortunately a thing of fiction. That said, he has other options when it comes to real-life heat rays, such as the active denial system, a non-lethal weapon that emits high-frequency microwaves that can burn a target at 550 yards without permanently harming them. That said, portable flamethrowers like those sold by Elon Musk would likely be a better option if Tony significantly increased their strength without increasing their size. Not possible yet, but plausible in the near future. Another energy-based weapon Tony could likely get his hands on is the real-world Marauder, a government-contracted plasma railgun that creates compact, high-density plasma and fires it using a powerful magnetic pulse. The plasma projectiles are shot at 3.3% the speed of light. Holy fuck. Is as powerful as 5 pounds of TNT and create a mini electromagnetic pulse near the impact zone. Dude, that sounds like it sounds like the railgun from fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Vanessa Williams. Oh, what's that movie called?
Vanessa Williams and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Eraser.
Oh,
Eraser, dude, with James Caan. And he got those huge ass fucking guns that shoot the aluminum rounds at the speed of. Yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Let's see. He would also need a considerably larger power source to fire the Marauder, such as the Shiva Star, a $4 billion government contracted energy research project, 25 meters in diameter. Jesus. Lockheed Martin is also developing its own compact fusion reactor, which is the size of a large truck and can power a few city blocks. That's pretty fucking cool. Though Iron Man wouldn't be able to fit it inside his chest, he'd likely be powering Stark Tower with something similar and could simply plug his weapons into it, though it would greatly hinder his mobility. Finally, it's important to look at the vehicles at Batman and Iron Man's disposal. When it comes to customizing a real-life Batmobile, Bruce could take a high-performance car, the faster the better, to a company called Custom Armored Vehicles, where they would retrofit it for battle. Batman would likely mount several additional offensive weapons onto his ride, including a microwave energy disruptor that can disable a vehicle's electronics at 50 meters, called the RF Safe Stop, good for both high-speed chases as well as brawls with giant mechs. Speaking of giant mechs, Iron Man's Hulkbuster armor does, in fact, exist in the realm of possibility. While nowhere near as nimble as the Hulkbuster, Method 2 is the world's first giant bipedal robot. Though its limited mobility and 3-hour battery life would make it an easy target for the Batmobile, which, armed with a Marauder railgun, this real-life Hulkbuster could prove to be devastating to the Dark Knight. On top of ground vehicles, Batman and Iron Man also come equipped with air support. The Cape Crusader's Batwing would likely be based on the X-47B, an experimental unmanned aerial vehicle the size of a strike fighter jet and vaguely in the shape of a bat. Though he wouldn't be able to sit in the cockpit, he would have one of his allies, such as Lucius Fox or his butler, Alfred, piloting the UAV remotely, which is awesome because they did that in Batman vs. Superman. Fucking he's in the Batwing and Batpod, and fucking he's just like, Alfred, I need you to take control. And then you see Alfred just like slide in, and he pulls the things out, and the joysticks pop out, and that's when he hops out of the cockpit, and like he's just like, I need a lift, and like he just starts running towards the front of the fucking plane, and then as soon as he gets to the front, he just jumps off, and like Alfred just flips the plane up, so it just launches him even further, dude. It's so sick, dude. But it's like that was the first time you ever see anything like that. That's why I was so mad. I'm excited because they're supposed to be releasing the Zack Snyder like cut of Justice League, so that'll be kind of cool to see. But it's still gonna be fucking trash, I'm sure. But like that was the coolest thing about Batman vs. Superman, was watching Jeremy Irons like really bring Alfred to life. Like you'd see him in the fucking Batcave in the mechanic suit, you know, fucking oily hands and shit, and they're talking about Superman. Take control, Alfred. And he's like, everybody, like, unless you watch Gotham or if you have read the comics, you know that Alfred's actually fucking former SAS. Like, he's a bad motherfucker. Like, just because he's old doesn't mean he can't fuck you up. Like, that is for sure. So yeah, that's cool. So who wins in a real life super battle? Again, depending on which world you're looking in. I mean, they say, I'm just going to read the rest of this. The answer is Batman. While Iron Man is bringing billions more in taxpayer dollars into this fight, ultimately he runs into a power consumption problem with his tech. In real life scenario, Batman and Iron Man would almost certainly open with their biggest weapons, their armored vehicles. Batman would roll up in his armored assault car and blast a Hulkbuster with his microwave disruptor, confusing his electronics and making it almost impossible to aim his weapons. Ooh, excuse me. If Iron Man managed to get a shot off with his plasma cannon, he likely wouldn't be able to make a direct hit on the Batmobile, but even so, he could effectively shut it down with the EMP blast. That said, Batman is the world's craziest driver and would have no qualms about using the Batmobile's momentum to ram the Hulkbuster with whiplash-inducing force. Once both men recovered from their concussions, the real fight would begin. As previously stated, Tony has 10 minutes of flight in his suit, and coincidentally, he would also have about 10 minutes of fuel for his miniaturized flamethrower hands. Since Batman's suit is fireproof, the only real threat coming from Iron Man at this point would be the heat. All Batman would have to do is survive 10 minutes of raining hellfire and then hook Tony with his grapnel launcher and reel him in like a trout. Though Iron Man's Nitinol suit would shrug off batarangs like origami throwing stars, if the Dark Knight wedged a Batmine into Tony's armor, he could effectively detonate one or all of his fuel sources and set him off like a Roman candle. But not to worry, the Saborothane would likely keep Tony alive, meaning Batman wouldn't break his no-kill rule. In the world of comic books, however, Iron Man would almost certainly destroy Batman. But in a world without portable fusion reactors, Tony Stark is limited by real-world power sources, while Batman is only limited by his physical endurance. And even Marvel fans will have to admit that Batman's willpower is nightmarishly unstoppable. And that's such a good way of explaining it. While we're still nowhere close to cracking the code of arc reactors, in another 50 years, anything is possible. So we'll see what happens. But again, I would say I thought it was pretty well written. It's the truth. It's the truth. Obviously, they make it very clear at the
I was
very
gonna
end
say,
of this, dude. In the comic world, there's no way Batman's gonna withstand, dude. Not to mention, Iron Man's got the Iron Legion and shit. Like, he's got fucking 50 other marks that are just gonna show up and will fucking kill you, like, at the snap of his finger.
I was gonna say, I like how it was written too, because it didn't seem like the guy or the girl, whoever wrote it, was going like too heavy to the one side, just like a Batman fanatic, just like saying like Batman, no matter what's gonna win, this scenario, that scenario.
Yeah, this is from Screen Rant. It's by a guy named Dorian Black. This came out in April of this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I'm really trying to check those dates.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that was fun. I think we should do more of these. I know that there is a podcast that does this though. That's called Who Would Win. Seabass actually turned me on to it. It's pretty good. There's some really ridiculous ones, dude, but like some of them are actually really, really good. But no, we'll come back to this eventually. We'll come back, in a month or something, a few episodes. We'll do another one with maybe some villains next time. Our favorite villains.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to wrap this up because I do have to get to practice. I can't believe I'm saying that. That's so nice. So guys, facebook.com/dippingmilkandcookies. Go like and share the page. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Freak Bitches. Go rate, review, subscribe. All of that helps. Any content, concerns, comments, rude remarks, whatever the fuck you want to send, dippingmilkandcookies@gmail.com. We have been checking that shit daily. We are graciously awaiting any emails that you guys have to send. We're getting a few, but like we want some fucking content. That's what we really want, man. So send us some stuff. Never hurts. Always helps. Other than that, yeah, I got nothing. Mike, you got anything you would like to add, my brother?
No. Except, well, I don't know. I think the episode that we're going to do in 2 weeks is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. What are we going to do next week again?
We were talking about doing like a steampunk Victorian
That's
age
right.
kinda.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, look forward to that episode because that is going to be a cool episode. Next week we're going to do some steampunk, Victorian age themed talking.
Yeah, well, I guess like we'll talk about movies, books, styles.
A little bit of the origin, and then how it's influenced popular society now because steampunk is fucking huge now. So yeah, we'll get into that next week. With that, we will end it here, guys. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. I love you. Always have.
Love you too, bro.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Produced by the Dankma.